All right, so we have a big update regarding the Bobby Lee, Brendan Schaub, and Brian Callen drama. Bobby Lee was on Ryan Sickler's podcast. I think that's how you say his name. I don't know. I can't keep up with all these podcasts. There are way too many at this point. But Bobby was on there. He was addressing all the drama. He was letting everybody know where he stands with Brian and Brendan. And let's take a look. Let's see what he had to say.
And what I want to say to the people out there is I don't have a problem with Brendan Schaub, right? Or Callen, or these guys. You know, I mean, I've known Brian Callen for over 20 years, you know? I mean, we're from the same show. I mean, he was on Mad TV before me, but we're a part of that family, right? So it's like, I've been to Brian's house, you know what I mean? I've hung out with those guys many, many times, right? I was just setting a boundary for myself because they were saying crazy things that had nothing to do with, right?
You are a unique mashup of all your favorite things, and there's a multitude.
I got to give this guy some credit. That is a good spot to put an ad placement right there, right between Bobby Lee talking about the Brendan Schaub drama. I don't think anybody's clicking off of that. But I think Bobby does try to be too much of a nice guy sometimes. And I think he even talks about it coming up here that he needs to like put his foot down a little more because he's acting like he has to explain himself why he kicked Brian out of his life. But I think most people understand why. I don't think anybody's like, oh, how dare you do that to him? That he didn't do anything wrong. I think most people are on Bobby's side, and he's talking about how him and Brian go way back. So I'm sure him cutting Brian out of his life, it probably was hard, but at the same time, if they go way back and they've known each other for so long and they're friends, then Brian shouldn't treat Bobby like that. I mean, he treated him like a piece of shit. It doesn't sound like he respects him that much. Maybe it's changed now, hopefully. Hopefully Brian's realized what he's done. And it sounds like he probably does, maybe. I don't know. But there's really no pressure on Bobby here to give him another chance. Everyone knows that Bobby didn't do anything wrong, and Brian's the one in the wrong here. So if Bobby doesn't want to talk to him, you know, that's his choice. And he shouldn't feel bad about it. He shouldn't have to justify it.
Normally, these guys, I would let people talk to me in that way, right? Because in comedy, obviously, you know that there are people that are not like you. Like you and I think, are more similar in terms of like our sensibilities. You know what I mean? We're a little sensitive, no?
Very.
Yeah, very sensitive. And we're, you know, little soft creatures, right? And there are other people that are like a more dominant alpha E, right? And so it's like I usually just absorb that shit. But I'm like, because of the shift that you're talking about, I just basically said, hey, man, don't talk to me like that because I didn't do anything, right? And we're done. Why can't I do that as a human being?
You can. Right? That's what I'm saying.
To another human being. So that's all that happened. But people online are like saying like it's a war or there's a division. There is no division, right? I'm just a guy that says I don't want to be talked to in that way. I didn't do anything, right? It was just out of left field. It was very traumatic, and I don't need to take that.
So it was good to see Bobby stick up for himself in this situation because he definitely needed to do that. And also he's talking about how there's no division or war or anything like that going on, which I understand him saying. I understand that he doesn't want that. But Brian and Brendan kind of turned it into that. The fact that they called him up and threatened his career and said they go to Joe Rogan, I mean, that's some serious shit. And it sounds like they were looking to go to war. They thought that he is part of the Fighter and the Kid subreddit. They're ready to take him down, destroy his career, make sure nobody associates with him ever again. But of course that all backfired because Brendan and Brian are just two goofballs. They can't get anything done. Like, aren't we still waiting to see those 300 pages of documents that prove that Bobby and Kalila are associated with the Fighter and the Kid subreddit?
Take that.
Yeah, you know my producer Kirsten is on the fucking, she's got her finger on the pulse of everything podcasting, and she was telling me all the stuff that was going on. So I watched your episodes, and I've talked to other comedians about it as well, and you've been pretty open and honest about everything out there.
Yeah, and
so I don't blame you one bit.
And I
mean,
saw Brendan we were at a wedding together, and I you know, he was getting coffee, and I walked up to him. I go, "What'd you get?" Oh, he goes, "I got a ice. What are you gonna get?" You know what I mean? I go, I'm going to get a double espresso. You know what I mean? I'm not that him and I are ever going to get back to the place, but it's like, I feel like there's, you know.
That was like a work function. You were professional.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure it out. You know what I mean? I'm trying to figure it out, but
boundaries are necessary.
I'm not allowing that anymore.
Yeah, good.
I don't want to allow it, you know, but that's all it is. You know what I mean? It was like, I never had a problem with those guys. I love those guys. In fact, one of my most viral things when it comes to podcasting is on Fighter Than Kid. It's like still out there. You know what I mean? It's a very funny bit. And we worked well together at one point. It just got out of hand, and I don't know, man. It was just, I wish it never happened, but and did that affect my relationship with? Yeah, it did. I mean, a lot of that stuff affected it. It kind of put more fuel on something that what I mean, that didn't need more fuel,
Right.
And
That was already having problems.
yeah, and also I don't know if I think maybe a year from now, maybe I don't know. I mean, maybe I'll realize that Kalila's the one for me, and we'll get back. I don't know. Who knows what'll happen? But for
Sounds
right
like
now,
she's still gonna be right next to you on the bed. In a
yeah,
year
yeah,
from now,
and
right?
we sleep great, and we communicate, and there's a lot of crying and a lot of growing up that we're doing, and it's really it's tough, but like I said, man, I don't know what's gonna happen. Also that's another thing. It's like
It's awesome to hear that the whole comedy world was paying attention to this behind the scenes. I mean, and some people on their podcast were even talking about it, but I'm sure everyone was paying attention to all this drama. I mean, there are YouTube videos made about it, like big documentaries and shit. It's awesome. It's like the comedy scene is turning into a reality show, which at least it would make it more interesting because right now it's just like comedians going on each other's podcasts, talking about comedy, talking about cancel culture and how they're being censored and everything. And it is getting old. It's nice to see something different, like some actual drama and serious tension between comedians. This is the kind of stuff the audience wants. Like if Brian Callen and Brendan Schaub went on the Tiger Belly podcast, that would get so many views. That'd be epic. That's what people want to see. Nobody cares about comedians sitting around talking about comedy anymore. Well, I mean, some people care, but I mean, all these podcasts, it's getting kind of old. I think we need something new to jazz it up. And it was also interesting to hear that Bobby ran into Brendan at some event and he went up to him and said something to him. And I'm sure Brendan was all nervous and he didn't know what to do. But it would have been a real badass move if Bobby went up to him and trolled him and was like, hey, do you mind walking me my truck later? No, but at the end there, Bobby was talking about him and Kalila and their relationship once again. And I think during all the Brendan Schaub drama, I'm sure there was a lot of stress and maybe it wasn't going well. But I think after that, it probably brought them closer together because they probably both felt bad for each other. Obviously, Kalila was getting shit from the internet because they all thought she was treating Bobby like shit. And she was getting all the threats from Brendan. And then also Bobby was getting all the threats from Brendan and Brian. So I think they both felt bad for each other and they felt like they needed each other. So I think it probably just brought them closer together. And I would be really shocked if she moved out and they actually broke up. I think their breakup is more just for the internet and to take the pressure off their relationship. So it'll be interesting to see where things go from here. I'm sure this is not the end of it. So make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, leave me a comment, and then I'll catch you at the next video.